Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey these last 18 months for all of us who run sports teams and venues. And all along the way, our primary focus and objective was to make sure that our fans were and feel safe in the venue. And I think we've accomplished that over the last 18 months. When we first opened this spring with limited capacity, 25% to 50% and 80%. And then, as you might recall, we did do a game or two before the state officially opened up with vaccine checking, and it worked really well. We were at 80% of the time, as you might recall, and we have a trained set of staff that before tickets are taken will spend time with our fans as they're entering and look at either their physical vaccination card or a photo of their vaccination card. What we're doing a little bit different this time is we're also accepting negative PCR tests within 48 hours of the game time. So our personnel will also be equipped and ready to check those. And so it's been something we've been thinking about for a while. We're proud to be leaders in the space. We were the first MLS and NWSL team to begin requiring proof of vaccine. We're proud of that. We know that our fans we talk to our fans every day. We do research all the time. We know that the great majority of fans are vaccinated, but also a great majority of our fans wanted us to implement these set of protocols. And so it was really in response to what the great majority of our fans wanted us to do.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to Joel Odom, Oregonian.
Hey, Mike, just curious, obviously plenty of people have a wide spectrum of opinions on this stuff, but what would you say to people who might say, they're not going far enough? Still, it's dangerous to be in, huge crowds, who might, want to see you guys push for, smaller percentage capacity, and are there benchmarks that you guys will be looking for if this surge were to continue in order to, trigger that kind of a decision?
Yeah, Joel, really fair question. And, given that our fan bases for the Thorns and Timbers include a wide spectrum of fans, that their opinions on every side of these issues, which obviously are, very personal, and we respect our fans and everybody else's opinion for that matter on how their level of comfort and the decisions they make on how to interact with the public. So we start with an empathy and a respect for our fans. Up until this moment, we've always been in lockstep with state guidance. And when the recent indoor mask mandate was implemented, we were ready to go. So we've been in lockstep with the state and actually in close communication with them and county all along the way. In this particular instance, Joel, we're actually ahead of where the state is. We're not required, as you know, to be doing this, nor are any other outdoor venues. And please keep in mind, everybody on the call, that an outdoor sports venue, outdoor venue of any kind, it's a different set of concerns, issues, and comfort than indoor venue. So we're not required to do what we announced today to do, but we felt it was the right thing to do. We wanted to be on the vanguard of this, and we wanted to be responsive to, again, the great majority of our fans. Joel, clearly there are going to be people who think it's too stringent, people think it's not strict enough. We think what we announced today and what we're going to begin to implement on the 25th really strikes what we believe is the right balance.
Thanks. We'll go to Caitlin Best.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for taking the time today. I'm just wondering if you could speak to the mask mandate indoors, but you're not doing a mask mandate outdoors. And I'm just wondering if there was discussion about maybe doing one for the actual seats in the stadium, and just given that like children can't get vaccinated yet, what the thought process on that was.
Yeah, hi, Caitlin. Yeah, we did think about it and discuss it. And again, it's striking. It's first of all following CDC and the state's guidelines. That's obviously the first North Star, which we are with the mask mandate, and it's striking the right balance. We have from the start, encouraged people to wear masks even prior to the mask mandate. We continue to encourage that, but we just felt that in the concourses, which are indoor, outdoor, and our indoor spaces, that at this moment that was the right call. And again, if all of us have learned anything from all of this, it's be ready to be flexible, be ready to be nimble, and the answer might be different in the future, as we've discovered. But we just felt the current mask policy, as we had articulated it a couple of weeks ago, coupled with this, strikes a really safe balance. I think meets most fans, not everybody, but the great majority of fans' interests.
Go to Simon Gutierrez, KPTV.
Hi there, thanks for taking the time. I was just wondering if you had any protocols in place. There's confrontations or any kind of an altercation between maybe someone who wants to get in, doesn't want to show proof of vaccination, or how a situation like that would be handled.
Yeah, it's a good question. We've, first of all, to answer your question directly, we have a really excellent, well-trained, robust security staff on site for all issues, not just the prospective ones you referenced. So for anything that comes up, and despite having 25,000 passionate fans every game, we have very, very few security issues at all. And when we introduced the 25% capacity protocols and the 80%, we had really no issues. So that's not to say that we may not, but we're prepared. There are going to be people who voice their views and may not have the right documentation, and we're going to just deal with those on a case by case. But we're prepared. We've trained our people, and I think it's going to be a non-issue.
Any more questions for Mike? Go to Paul Danzer, Portland Tribune.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this. Why not do this for the WICC? Did you guys not have that authority, or talk about that? Because obviously it's...
Sure. Hey, Paul. Yeah, we considered that, and at Paul, as you referenced, at the WICC, it's not our event. We're the host venue, but it's being promoted by a third party, and we consulted with them, and they're excellent people, great partners, and we're very excited about the event. But given the short notice of us arriving at this decision, given how they went to market, that they felt, and given we all wanted to give our fans a little bit of time to sort of be ready for the new protocols, they made the call that they thought about it, but they made the call that for the games tomorrow evening and Saturday evening, that they would be just the mask mandates, and that our policy would commence for our Thorns game a week from tomorrow.
Okay, any more questions? Go back to Mike Benner.
Sorry, one more question, Mike. Just, a lot of changing dynamics over the last several months. I mean, you've done a number of these press conferences. What's it been like for you and your staff to just, what's this year been like for you guys trying to, make the different accommodations and the changes that you guys are doing?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I think for anybody in any business, it's been a test, and have been trying, and things seem to be changing week to week. I think in our industry, in our situation, perhaps is a little more pronounced than others, but we've got a wonderful staff. For those of you who come to our games, interact with our full-time staff, our event staff, it's a great bunch of people who are just passionate about what they do and are passionate about delivering the great game experience for our supporters. And so while it's been difficult, Mike, and it's been, it's been necessary to be nimble, as I referenced, there's also been a lot of real joyous moments. When we first, even though we were at 25%, when we first welcomed fans back this spring, it was an amazing homecoming. And when we went up to 80%, it was that much more. And then, for those of you who saw the game Saturday on Sunday, while it was a tough result, I mean, it was an amazing crowd. The supporters were amazing, and it just felt like Providence Park felt pre-pandemic. And so it's been a year of mixed emotions, I think, for all of us. One of joy of coming back, albeit under different circumstances, yet being realistic about the need to be nimble and to be ready to change as circumstances change. And I think today's announcement is an example of that.